Today, we're going to dive deep into Arundhati Roy's incredible novel, The Ministry of Utmost Happiness. And let me tell you, this book is just packed with these dense, powerful symbols that really make you think.
But before we get into the weeds, I've got a question for you. Just take a second and think about it. When you picture paradise, what do you see? I'm guessing for most of us, it's something like a quiet beach, right? Or maybe a super luxurious hotel. You know, a place of total comfort and beauty. Just a perfect escape from all the noise and chaos of everyday life.
Well, in this novel, paradise is found in a graveyard. Yeah, you heard that right. And this isn't just for shock value. This single choice sets up the entire central conflict of the story, and honestly, its most radical, powerful idea.
So, the whole story is basically built around this constant tension, this collision between two opposing worlds, Dunya and Jannat.
Let's break that down. Dunya is, well, it's the world as we know it. Mainstream society, with jobs, politics, all the normal stuff. But then you have Jannat, which literally translates to paradise. Except in the book, Jannat is something else entirely. It's a guest house for outcasts built right in the middle of a cemetery.
So this graveyard, it actually becomes a sanctuary, a real safe haven, where the line between the living and the dead just completely blurs. It's this incredible space of inclusive living, especially for people who've already been treated as if they were dead by society. Here, they finally get a chance to be truly alive. But here's the thing. Rai doesn't let us off with an easy, simple escape. She shows us how the very idea of paradise can be twisted, even weaponized. It's pretty dark. For example, there's this military officer who calls himself the Jannat Express. It's his sick joke. By killing militants, he says he's just giving them a fast track to heaven.
So why is this graveyard paradise so absolutely necessary? Well, to get that, we have to take a hard look at all the ways the world outside, the Dunya, is failing.
And man, there's no better symbol of this broken world than the Shiraz Cinema in Kashmir. Just listen to this quote about it. "Once you go to Shiraz Cinema, you rarely come back." That one line, it tells you everything.
So what happened? It was a two-step destruction, really. First, militants shut it down, calling it a cultural war against Indian influence. But then, the Indian military comes in, takes over the empty building, and turns it into a brutal interrogation and torture center. Just like that, a place for art becomes a place of pure terror.
And it's not just about physical violence. The novel also digs into the failures of democracy itself. It zeroes in on the 2011 Anna Hazare anti-corruption movement. I mean, this was a moment of huge hope for so many people, seen as a whole new freedom struggle for India.
And on the surface, it worked. The government changed. But, and this is a big but, what actually happened to the problem? What happened to corruption? Did anything really change?
All those promises of accountability, like the big Lokpal bill, totally forgotten. And what's even worse is that the space for people to disagree, to dissent, just vanished. Before, you could criticize the government. Afterwards, not so much. It became dangerous. And all that talk about transparency just went out the window.
There's this moment where a lecturer in the source material just asks, where is that Gandhi-like figure now? And the implication is just heartbreaking. It suggests that in this new world, the old ways of protest, maybe even Gandhi himself, they just can't save us anymore. So, okay, when a movie theater becomes a torture chamber and a democratic movement ends up silencing people, where in the world is there any hope left? Well, the novel has a radical answer. When the mainstream world fails this badly, the only place left to look is on the fringes, which of course brings us right back to that paradise in a grave.
And what makes the Jannat Guest House so special, so radically inclusive, is that it's not built on some shared belief system or a passport. Nope. It's built on shared exclusion. It's a community that literally opens its doors to anyone and everyone the outside world has decided to throw away.
So who are we talking about? Basically, everyone who doesn't fit into the neat boxes of the Dunya. Hijras, Dalits, Kashmiris, kids who've been abandoned, even injured animals have a place here. It creates this vibrant, messy, but incredibly loving society where all those lines that divide people out there, they just get erased. And you really see this radical inclusivity in how the book completely redefines what a family is. It all centers on one child, a baby, being raised by, get this, 6 fathers and 3 mothers.
This completely flips our ideas about parenthood on their head. The baby's biological mother actually abandons her to go fight for some abstract idea of a motherland.
Meanwhile, the real spirit of motherhood comes from Anjum and Tilo, two people who can't have biological children, but who build this incredible sanctuary of love and protection around this baby. It's chosen motherhood over biological motherhood.
Now, it's really important to get this. This graveyard paradise is not some perfect fairy tale escape. Not at all. It represents a totally different kind of hope. It's messy, it's active, and it is incredibly, incredibly resilient.
And this idea is even reflected in how the book is written. The story is fragmented, it jumps around in time, it switches points of view. And that's the whole point. Roy is showing us that the only way to tell a shattered story, to understand a broken world, is to slowly become everything, to embrace all those broken pieces.
And if you're looking for the perfect symbol of this kind of resilience, it's a creature we usually just ignore, the dung beetle. Think about it. This is an animal that literally finds purpose, finds life, and builds a future from the stuff that everyone else has thrown away as worthless trash.
And that's really the final thought Roy leaves us with. It's this powerful question. What if we've all been looking for paradise in the completely wrong places? What if real, lasting hope isn't found in some grand, sweeping movement to fix the world, but in the small, forgotten communities we build for ourselves, together, right in the middle of all the wreckage?